Program Manager.
Yeah, Deshanala, this is Sally Pete from Winslow Indian Healthcare Center. Good morning. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Adayate. All callers. With that, Ms. Angelica Benali, could you review the proposed agenda with the committee?
Yes, Mr. Chair, and good morning again. You have your proposed agenda for the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee 24th Navajo Nation Council regular meeting, January 19th, 2022. Presiding the Honorable Daniel E. So, Chairperson, Honorable Carl R. Slater, Vice Chairperson. Places via telecommunications, Winter Rock, Navajo Nation, Arizona. 1, call meeting to order, roll call, invocation announcements. 2, recognize guests and visiting officials. 3, review and adopt the agenda. 4, reviewing and adopt the journals. Ones for January 11th, 2022 and January 12th, 2022. 5, receiving reports. A is an update by the Navajo Division of Health, Division of Aging and Long-Term Care Support. And it's regarding an update on negotiation on meals and transportation rates for senior citizen centers. Presenters Valerie Jones, the Health Service Administrator for Division of Aging and Long-Term Care Support, and Dr. Jill Jim, the Executive Director for the Navajo Department of Health. B is the Winslow Indian Healthcare Center Incorporated. It's regarding nursing shortages and the Winslow Board resolution. Presenters are Lita Ann Scott, Director for Community Health Services, and Noria Bryce, DPN Chief Nurse Executive. C, Chinle Nursing Home Facility, Navajo Land Nursing Home Incorporated, regarding the closure and the NHA renovation. Presenters are Wayne Claw, President of Navajo Nursing Homes Incorporated, and Maureen Curley, CEO for the Navajo Housing Authority. D, report is a program update by the Judy Patero, Program Manager 1 for the Child Support Services with the Division of Human Resource. E is an update with Department of Personnel Management regarding the COVID-19 leave policy, current increase in cases, and applicability to the current health command orders. Presenters are Thomasita Woody, Human Resource Director, and Dr. Ophelia R. Fowler, Division Director for Division of Human Resource. 6, old business done. 7, new business. A is legislation 0266-21. B is legislation number 0004-22. 8, close the meeting, adjournment, announcements and adjournment. Next meeting dates, Mr. Chair.
Motion, Halona.
Committee members. Motion by Honorable Halona. Do I hear a second?
Second, Delegate Paul Begay.
Second by Honorable Paul Begay. Committee members, if we could amend the agenda that was read into the record to put legislations before the reports. That way the Honorable Slater, Honorable Wanika, and myself can take a break from this meeting so that we can present our legislations and reports with the BNF committee.
Chair Halona.
Oh, Honorable Halona.
Yes. Yes, Chair, I'd like to make motion to amend the agenda to hear the legislations first before the reports.
Thank you.
This is Delegate Paul Begay. I so concur.
Okay. Yeah, committee members. Ms. Benali, Uh,
Yes, Mr. Chair.
uh, the legislation that is being sponsored by Honorable Eugene So, we do need to add it to our agenda for today. What was the legislation number?
The legislation number is 0002-22.
222.
Yes, and it's an action relating to resource and development in health, education, human service, and law and order in the Navajo Committee and to the Navajo Nation Council, amending Title 17 of the Navajo Nation Code to establish criminal penalties for vicious dogs and other animal attacks. And it does also attaches the RDC committee report dated January 18th, 2022. Mr. Chair?
Thank you. Moving parties, we could amend the motion one more time to add the named legislation.
Mr. Alona, I concur to that.
If you had not us.
Delegate Gay also concurs.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
Committee members, any other discussion on the motion with two amendments? Basically makes it an amended agenda. Any discussion? When what? Twice. 3 times. Mr. Mose, roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.,
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona,
Alona votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Carl Russell Slater,
Delegate Slater, green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So, Honorable Charlene So, Honorable Edison J. Winika, green. Honorable Edison J. Winika votes green. Honorable Charlene So. Carry, I have a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Let the record show a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed, the chair not voting. Now we go on to review and adopting the journals. Ms. Angelique Benali, could you review that with the committee?
Mr. Chair, you have number 4, review and adopt the journals. One is for January 11th, 2022 and January 12th, 2022. I believe Mr. Leonard Mose had emailed those copies of the journals out to the committee members as of yesterday. Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Motion, Winika.
Second, Alona.
Motion by Honorable Wanika, second by Honorable Halona. Mr. Mose, roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.,
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona,
Alona votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Carl Russell Slater,
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So, Honorable Charlene So, Honorable Edison J. Winika, green. Honorable Edison J. Winika votes green. Chair, a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Again, Mr. Mose, what was the vote?
4-0.
Okay. Let the record show a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed, and the chair not voting.
Chair, I have one question.
Yes,
I was wondering if you could be signing, two of your legislations, 0009-22 and 0011-22.
does that need to go to the next committee?
I believe they're going to, I think, Nobby, or one of the committees, but you haven't signed the legislation yet, sir.
I'll be there tomorrow morning before we convene the meeting at 8 a.m.
Pushing, Abiga.
So, yeah, I've been trying to get on chapter meeting, and some of the chapter meetings haven't made quorum, so I've been tied down with that. Otherwise, we'll take care of it tomorrow morning. Thank you. Ms. Benali, item 5, new business. First one, A. Legislation.
Yeah, it's new business. Legislation number 0266-21. An action relating to health education and human services, approving a one-time waiver of the Navajo Nation Personnel Policies Manual, Section 10B1E, to allow employees to carry over all of their 2021 accrued annual leave for one calendar year until December 31st, 2022. The sponsor is Delegate Mark Freeland, and the legislation has been read into record. The Health Education and Human Services Committee has a final authority. Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Benali. Hey, Honorable Mark Freeland, are you on the call? Second call, Honorable Mark Freeland, are you on the call? Ms. Benali, did we send a text or an email to Honorable Freeland?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I sent a Zoom invitation to him and Delegate Jamie Henyo, who's a sponsor of the next legislation. And I also sent them a second email this morning reminding them that their legislations is on HES's agenda. And I just now text Delegate Freeland. But when he answers, I can let the HES committee know.
Careful, huh?
Chair, this is Delegate though.
Oh, the business you have the floor?
Jayaj, I just wanted to state that I'm on the call for the record, and I apologize for my tardiness. I was driving through an area without reception. So I'm on the call now. Good morning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's busy, thank you. Honorable Halona.
Oh, yes, sir. Chair, this is Helen. I know Mark was busy this morning with State Task Force and Utah legislation. They're probably still in that meeting right now. Well, that was
Okay,
just I started this morning.
Mr. Chair,
Ms.
Mr. Chair.
Benali.
Oh, Mr. Chair, Delegate Freeland did respond, and he said that he's getting on the Zoom call right now.
Okay. All right. Okay, Honorable Chair Jamie Henyo, are you on the call?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, Ms. Angelita Benali, what is the committee rule to basically bypass the first item on the
I'm here.
legislation?
Mark Freeland's on the line for the record. Chinata.
Oh, late but good.
My apologies. I'm on RDC
Okay.
as well.
Yeah, we've got legislations over at BNF too. Committee members, the legislation has been read into the record, and the sponsors on the line. What are the wishes of the committee?
Motion, Halona?
Motion by Honorable Cornell Halona to adopt the proposed legislation. Do I hear a second?
I second Shiaj.
Second by Honorable Charlene So. Committee members, are there any questions? The intent and purposes are very clear in the legislation, and the committee is the final authority. Any questions? If not, first call, second call, third call. Mr. Mose, roll call vote, please. Thank you, Che, for being on the call.
No, Ketlan Chinata, HES committee members of Senigi, and this is a great service that we're doing for our employees. So thank you very much, Chinata.
All right, Honorable Paul Begay Jr.,
Yeah, we'll get Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona,
Halona votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Carl Russell Slater,
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So,
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Edison J. Winika, green. Honorable Edison J. Winika votes green. Chair, I vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Mose. 5 in favor, 0 opposed, the chair not voting. Now we go to item 5B. Ms. Angelita Benali.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You please review the proposed legislation with the committee. And we have sponsor Chairman Jamie Henio on the call.
Yes, Mr. Chair. You have your legislation number 0004-22, an act relating to the Health, Education, and Human Services Resource and Development, Budget and Finance, and Navigated Committees, and to the Navajo Nation Council, allocating $3,600,000 from the unreserved undesignated fund balance to the Division of Community Development for the upgrade replacement of a high voltage electricity system for Rama Navajo School Board Incorporated, Pine Hill School, and sponsor is Delegate Jamie Henio. Mr. Chair.
Motion, Winika.
Honorable Edison Juanita makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second, Halona?
Second, that was Begay.
Second, I'll recognize Honorable Paul Begay for the second. Do we have any questions, committee members? This particular item goes on to one more time, Ms. Benali. This legislation moves on to which committee?
Mr. Chair, it
Okay.
moves on to RDC.
Okay, I should say Honorable Jamie Henio. Let me give you 10 minutes to address the committee on the intent and purposes of this legislation.
Kushina, Chairman Su, can you hear me? Kushina, I'm also on the Budget and Finance Committee, so let me vote here real quick. I vote green. And so with that, this legislation, Health, Education, Human Services Committee, it pertains to education of our young children within the Rama Navajo School Board school system up in Pine Hill, New Mexico, and also Rama. And for many years now, since the school had started, CIA has been in charge of a lot of the O&M and maintenance. And therefore, what happened was that they have been installing electrical lines underground within the campus, which also operates the water system. And through the years, there has been wear and tear, replacements done here and there, just like piecemeal stuff. And therefore, with that, there needs to be a total revamp of the electrical system. I mean, they have to take everything out, all the old stuff, put in a new upgraded line within this. But then again, that's BIA. They just kind of turned their head the other way and said, "Nope, I said this is not our problem." They just kind of left it up to the school board, the school, to find money for themselves. And so therefore, that's where this legislation comes about. Is that this Navajo Nation, the school board in that even the J-Con legislation had to, yeah. And the question might be is that why isn't this an ARPA? Well, as we know, we don't know when the ARPA expenditure plan will be implemented, and it's still on the agendas here and there. And therefore, we felt that this would be the fastest way to move, is to look at the USB, but at the same time, it'll be part of the ARPA reimbursement once we implement the expenditure plan. But the main thing is that this needs to happen right away. It should have happened last year, but because of funding issues and wrangling with BIA, it's even in Kadeya, we figured with just the path to take to get the funds out to the school board, but not through school board, to Division of Community Development. They'll be handling all the contracts and working closely with the school board as they have done in the past. And even to get the electrical line within the campus upgraded. Some of them have been exposed, and so they've been having a tough time trying to rope it off and for safety precautions. And yeah, so even Kadeya could HDIC and so Health, Education, Human Services Committee, it's before the committee and for consideration. And if there's any questions, I hope my agents are on the line with Navajo School Board. If not, I'll be the sole person to handle any questions, as I've been attending their monthly meetings on this particular subject. And from the Navajo School Board, the community, and to assist with this construction of the upgrading the electrical system. And what's happened too is that when it overloads, or if there's a short, it affects the pump that's located within the campus because the water pump, the well is located on campus, and that serves not only the school but also serves the NHA campus close to the school campus, and then the surrounding homes within that campus. I believe they were saying like it's over like 100 homes that's being served by this well. So when this electrical line short in the home, it burns out the pump, and the community is left without water for a number of days until they can go back in there, find out where that short happened, let's do a piecemeal repair on it. Then they have to go back, add expenses, meaning that they have to dig that pump back out of the well, replace it, and then put it back down there again. So again, even in Naya, we figured that with this money, they could do a comprehensive overall repair, which would eliminate any future shortages that might happen in the future. So, I'll be go back on mute.
Committee members, any questions, comments, discussion?
Chair Salona?
Oh, Honorable Helena, you have the floor.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chair. Committee members, thank you, all those who are on the call. I just, I missed that a little bit. I heard Chair Henio talking about, is this project inputted into the ARPA funding window? Is that what part of the project was inputted there? And I understand that it is taking a little while for this ARPA legislation to go through. So this is kind of a shortcut for you. Is that what you're trying to get done so that we can have some paper trail started for this project, and that it will be reimbursed from the ARPA fund if it is included into the window? That's I missed part of that, Chair. Try to get a quick explanation on that. Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, Honorable Helena Sache, you have the teleconference floor to respond to Honorable Helena.
Okay, Chair. For that really, really good question. Thank you. I forgot to mention that during my my explanation of the agenda. I mean, I'm on the PNF committee mood here of the legislation. The Raymond Navajo School Board, they on their own initiative went and filed 4 applications for ARPA consideration. One application is this application for the $3.6 million electrical upgrade project. The application is called Lado, along with all the attachments that you see to this legislation, and it was submitted to Division of Community Development. They also did another application for water well, upgrading the water well, construction and water lines within the Pine Hill School campus to serve the campus plus the nearby homes. Ito application had AD. They also did an application for upgrading their wastewater treatment, wastewater lagoon system. And then they also did another application for broadband. So there are 4 applications there at Division Community Development. And so it's not part of 257-21. It's not part of that legislation. Reason being is because this is something that was generated recently within the last 6 months, and so even in we had high hopes that these applications would be reviewed by Division of Community Development, and then it would be moving forward to Department of Justice for their review, and then I could sponsor that. to be put as part of an ARPA expenditure legislation. But to this point, though, the reason being is because last I've heard from Division Community Development is that with instructions from OPVP, I guess, they were told to hold off on reviewing any incoming applications until they could decide what to do with the ARPA funding, meaning that after council made the action for hardship assistance, now they're saying that we have to go back and reevaluate all the expenditure plans, and which I mean, I'm just kind of wondering why they're doing that. But so that's where it's at right now. Is the 4 applications that Raymond Navajo School Board has submitted is sitting at Division Community Development. I've been trying to follow up on it. Nobody at DCD is giving me any type of information regarding the status of these applications. But even in within the legislation, I had asked that it be there be language in there. I don't know if it's in there, but for reimbursement from ARPA once it's approved by council and hopefully approved by President Niz. I'm told this, Nada. Thank you.
Yeah, committee members, any further questions? If not, Mr. Mose, roll call vote, please.
Yes, sir. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
No,
You're breaking up, sir. Honorable Pernell Halona.
Voting votes green.
Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Carl Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Edison J. Wanika. Honorable Edison J. Wanika. Green. Honorable Edison J. Wanika votes green. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Paul McGee votes green.
Sir, Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Chair, a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you. Committee members, 5 in favor, 0 opposed. Chair not voting. On the next legislation, Honorable Carl Slater, could I get you to chair on my legislation over at BNF is on the table. So I need to jump off this call and get on that call.
Excuse me, are you so on the line?
Okay.
Chair So, this is Angelita Benelli. For this legislation, we need somebody who's physically present to sign the committee report so we can refer it to the law and order.
Honorable Edison Wanika, could you be the chair pro tem?
I'll be right there.
Okay, I'm going to jump off this call and get on BNF's call. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Nolly, can you read that legislation to the record?
Yes, Mr. Chair Pro Tem, the next legislation, C, 5C is legislation number 0002-22 and action related to resource and development, the health, education, and human services, and the law and order and the Navajo committees and to the Navajo Nation Council, amending Title 17 of the Navajo Nation Code to establish criminal penalties for vicious dogs and other animal attacks. The sponsor is Delegate Eugene So. Co-sponsors are Delegates Eugenia Charles Newton, Delegate Kealan Begay, and Delegate Raymond Smith Jr. And this legislation moves on to the Law and Order Committee, which is meeting at 1 o'clock today. Mr. Chair Pro Tem.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Finale. I need a motion and a second.
Motion,
I
Delegate
motion
Paul
Delegate
Gay.
So.
Motion by Honorable Begay,
I'll second.
second by Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Eugene So, are you on the line?
Good morning, Shehe.
Yes, hey, Honorable So, you have the floor.
I wonder. I reckon I got this legislation kind of been bothering me ever since day one. 0002-22. It was vetoed the first round. So we're going for the second round. So now we have people that will be on the lines from the animal control. This Navajo Nation is a governing body as a Navajo Nation, and the revision of the Title 17. The but this section gay been the for a been gay to and his husband. This has the way 4 of 7. Section 3 amending Title 17 of the Navajo Nation Code. ATE on the line 21 Title 17 Law and Order. Title 23 subsection H 486 criminal nuisance law. Vicious dogs and other dangerous animals. The other stuff gave me the house. I don't have to get that stuff. In the grade all the way down. They ye a new line which are in there. 5 or 7 on which line 6 or 8 new line which lay 6 of 7 line 8 at a ben hast angeht yan sita case Hanadi la and lay line 24 or 7 other non lay line 7 of 7 8 is k on EGCA on hat on could have Hanadelia. So it even out of exhibit the Quishi Patas no animal control that either or other places the program the labor has to the city out of Waterfront Crown Point ship brought many points. Homerson has what is citation how to the yard or the beat us the dollar create the hot in the hot in a beat us if the bus even ben the any it a cake the Shahadedi la. So in that regards our request is the people's prayers to hereby amend that title 17 amend I don't hit that in the other. And I always throughout the day I raise a point of order with myself in my daily life in regards to these issues, because these are the concerns that I came into the Navajo Nation Council with.
vaccine. You had increasing in death because of pandemic and also the CARES Act and the ARPA now. As bedet det has no office the organization increasing and needs changing within the Navajo Nation code. So those are my the name they be kid or addition hala by even now icon hit that on the other home solo she not for you all experience it. You had to really come to stick to where if it was your own kid, or your grandkids, or or either the ahoda. So these are some of the issues that we have because I don't think we're going to change that changing and world that where we're going forward, where now we have housing. Called it Kechanda is on a sim that he out. Chita that nail with that he got of the Yatini Katonda and Gesta when they're in a game. So what has no Asiba has just leaving now Achit out. It all needs to Achit out just short all needs no could I clone it down out of it. So she had to need all this so she sponsor Alma Control. And the East, you had to thank you.
Thank you, Galgitso, for your presentation. Committee members, do you have any comments, questions? Committee members, any questions? Going once? Going twice? Let's go to the vote.
Chair, Salona.
Lona.
Oh, yeah, Dave, thank you. Thank you, Chair. I had a real quick question on this legislation, Chair. Mr. So, Eugene So, is there a number involved in how much money we're going to try to put towards this program? Do you have a number, how much money we're going to use to try to mitigate some of the overpopulation? Is there a funding setup that you're asking for? And how much is that funding and which communities will that affect right off the bat? That's my question I have right now. Chair?
Okay, thank you, Honorable Lona. Honorable Eugene So, back to you.
Gracie, yes, in the back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm on another meeting here. That's what I'll go.
Vernon Jackson, still hasn't told you how thoughts in regards to this issue, but the main purpose right now is the citation day. Right now on this, but there's a budget hearing coming up. I guess that's when we're going to start really looking for some funds in that regards for new officers that I don't doubt. A lot of things can happen with this because there's a vaccine that needs to be come around or the neuter that a spade that a the HA study about it, the whole as usual. I don't think hard this is I'm talking for across the Navajo Nation. Or most of my legislation is for the people of the Navajo Nation. So if I see if my agent has anything. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I will be looking for that legislation coming down the road to see how much money we're going to have to put up for this because it, in order to get control of some of this overpopulation, there's free programs already out there here and there for dogs to get neutered and spayed. But it's not enough. I think we need to really get down on this program here and allocate a large amount of funding for that to have all the dogs, their stray dogs, have them put down, and as well as getting a program together to have a neuter and vaccinations, a free day, 2 days out of a year or something, so that we can allocate some money towards that. And we would get a lot of people that would bring their animals in, because right now when they do have those free days at the chapter house, they do get a lot of people. And some here at my chapter, they had to turn some people away because there was too many clients coming in with their animals. And so if we had more funding to try to help them to get their animals neutered and spayed, and I think we'll have more success in that manner. Of course, that'll have to be down the line again, and it's going to have to be a continuous effort to continue to control the population on the reservation, because you can't just do it a one-time shot and think it's going to be okay. It's going to have to be a continuous resolution all the way from now until probably end of time. So thank you. Thank you very much, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Lona. Many members.
Chair, can I correct something? Thank you.
Go ahead, Honorable.
I saw it that the title, Vernon Jackson is the acting chief prosecutor. خطاب عندنا شيء خطاب استخبارات or even this side. Thank you. I said animal control. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Honorable So. Many members, any other questions, concerns? Not, let's go to the board.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona.
Yeah, hello, I was trying to get on the call.
Halona's green. Votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Carl Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Daniel So. Honorable Daniel So. President Chair, I vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you for the votes. I'm going to give the gravel back to, not to our chair, but to our vice chair, Honorable Slater. Aspila. Honorable Slater. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Go ahead, Honorable Slater. I'm going to give you the.
Okay. We're conducting a meeting over here at the Untitled Chapter of the Forestry Department, and we have a lot of committee members here. Is there nobody else you can share right now? Is it just for this legislation?
Chair So is before the Budget and Finance. I probably can go ahead and continue with the agenda.
Okay. I would appreciate if you could. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Finale, what's the next item on the agenda?
Mr. Chair Pro Tem, you have your number 6. Hold on, let me see.
Are we at receiving
Reports? Yes, it's number 6,
Fine.
receiving reports. A is an update by Navajo Division of Health, Division of Aging and Long-Term Care Support.
Okay, so update on negotiation on meals and transportation rates for senior citizen centers. Right, the presenter is Valerie Jones. Ms. Jones, are you on the line?
Chair, Vice Chair,
Yes.
this is Michelle from NDOH. Val is getting on the call, and Dr. Jim is on another call, so Val Jones will be presenting.
Okay, go ahead, you have the floor.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, honorable members of the Health Education Human Services Committee. This is Valerie Jones, the Health Services Administrator for Division of Aging and Long-Term Care Support. And I on the agenda to talk specifically about the Tri-State Agreement for Division of Aging and Long-Term Care Support. And this was an agreement that I had notified HES of last year. And as of right now, the update to the agreement is I'm still having conversations and with the state funding authorities. So in October 1979, the governors of Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah all came together with the United States Administration on Aging and the Navajo Nation and created the Tri-State Agreement to allow state of Arizona to be the primary contact for Navajo Nation. And it's been about 42 years since this agreement was updated. And at the time, it was decided that it did not benefit Navajo to have 3 area agencies on aging in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. That Navajo Nation was to be treated as one tribal nation. But yet, at this point in time, I feel like I'm coordinating with Arizona and New Mexico, and also trying to establish that relationship with Utah. Right now, that agreement, what it allows to do is distribute portions of Title III and Title VII funds designated for New Mexico and Utah to Arizona Department of Economic Security. And then Arizona Economic Department of Security filters that money here to us here at Division of Aging. Right now, the fund distribution is 1.83% from New Mexico and 0.4% from Utah, and these all go through to Arizona. As I stated, though, right now I am working with in Arizona, and they all are requiring that we adhere to their scope of work when it comes to the Area on Aging plan. Is created for Arizona, then another one is created for New Mexico. Utah may also require one in the future, but they haven't said anything yet. But I have been in contact with all state representatives, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, including the United States Administration on Aging, the Administration for Community Living. They are all in agreement in updating this document. And currently, I have emailed our Department of Justice, Michelle Begay-Nakai, to give me some legal guidance as to the next action steps I need to take, because I'm wondering, do I call for a tribal consultation, or what method what venue do I take in presenting this to the state funding authorities and our federal funding authority? So that's pretty much what I'm working on right now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Jones, for that update. Committee members, do you have any questions? Valerie, in reference to your presentation, so when you work with the programs, it seems like you're being told to adhere to the scope of work of each state. What's the main problem with doing that as far as Navajo Nation is concerned? It seems like you have to work with the different parts of the Navajo Nation that's within the 3 states. It seems like you have to divide the work into 3 different areas. I'm pretty sure that's really kind of making the work more complicated. So when you met with the governors, it sounds like they're supportive of this. What's the main reason why you're not making it so there's one document within the nation? Valerie?
Thank you, Honorable Wanika. Dodi ita bela atas li 1979 ata Asian Tibe bikaho Division of Aging a di kutam hibesing la atole but between Arizona, New Mexico and Utah. E kohodot needin dash ita since I started in last year, I've been uncovering, different challenges with the Division of Aging and Long-Term Care. So yes, as you questioned, is it making it difficult, to work with 3 different funding sources? It is because they all, like I said, they all have different scope of works. Like the age requirements are different for each. And then the fiscal dates are different for each, the year-end dates, I mean. And then, just having to meet with them on a regular basis. And that also includes the client database system. Arizona wants us to enter into their system. Now New Mexico is asking us to enter into their system. So I'm hoping with this one tri-state agreement, we are treated as one nation and, in these 3 different states, but be recognized to only, provide that one scope of work and then the one client database system instead of having separate and answering to separate states. Thank you.
Valerie, any questions, committee members? There's no question. I need a motion to receive the report.
Motion, Delegate Paul Begay to receive reports.
Motion by Honorable Begay.
There's a weight room with.
Second, Helona.
Second by Honorable Helona.
We would want our children to be able to broadband, more access to broadband, more room for, online, if anything, stuff like that. Anything you can think of, library.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Helona.
What the community would want.
Helona votes green.
In high school.
Now Helona votes green.
If they're not in.
Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Daniel E. So. Honorable Daniel E. So. Lieutenant Chair, I vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Mose, for the vote. Next item on the agenda is item C. Our Chair, Daniel So, back online. Okay, let's go to item C, Chinle Nursing Home Facility, Navajo Land Nursing Home Incorporated. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I jumped ahead. It's Winslow Indian Healthcare Center Incorporated on the Nursing Shortage and WIHCC Board Resolution. Lisa Ann Scott, are you on the line?
Yat A Bennett O.
Kushin, you have the floor, ma'am.
Yat A Shik Shidina Edon Hinat Ani under the HES committee. My name is Lita Scott, and I am the Director of Community Health Services at Winslow Indian Healthcare Center. I am also a nurse practitioner and have been working in this capacity since March of 2021. I'm also co-presenting with one of my peers and colleague, and I'll have her introduce herself before we begin our presentation.
Good morning, honorable committee members. My name is Noria Bryce. I'm the Chief Nurse Executive here at Winslow Indian Healthcare. I'm originally from Counselors, New Mexico. I've been with Winslow Indian Healthcare since August of 2021. And I'm sorry, 2020. And I just wanted to say I'm privileged, I'm honored to be here to present our presentation.
Thank you, Nori. Sheya ashihin shlabet ani bashish chin lezelana dashachero ashche e dashinalet isenolieldo e yisinasha. Our presentation, we are providing a PowerPoint presentation on the resolution of the Winslow Indian Health Board of Directors resolution. The title of our presentation is Requesting Resolution of the Nursing Shortage. Again, this pertaining to Winslow Indian Healthcare Center and healthcare facilities across the Navajo Nation. Last week, go ahead and go to the next slide. We also sat in on the presentation here at the HES committee that was given by Rosalind So, Navajo Area Director, and other updates that were given from the 638 facilities on the nursing shortage. So some of that also speaks to what we're presenting here. So the content of our presentation, again, real quickly, is the background of Winslow Indian Healthcare Center, the value for the nursing profession, nursing workforce shortage and sense of urgency, scope of contributing factors, vision for change and efforts, and then the resolution calls Navajo Nation leadership attention to nursing workforce shortage and achievable and sustainable solutions. Next page. So again, the background, our Winslow Indian Healthcare Center, as you know, is a non-profit corporation chartered under the laws of the Navajo Nation. WIHCC is authorized pursuant to Navajo Nation Council Resolution CJY 3310 to administer and operate the Winslow Indian Health Service Program under Title V Self-Governments of the Indian Self-Determination and Education Assistance Act. We provide a service area of 2,417.7 square miles that includes grazing districts 5 and 7 of the Navajo Reservation, and then the border town communities of Winslow, Joseph City, and Holbrook. We are an ambulatory healthcare service provider with a primary patient service population of over 17,000 patients. We are opening the Delcon Medical Center and in 2022, and the need for expanding our workforce. And so our focus, and again, our concern surrounds our nursing shortage. And again, this is from our understanding at Winslow Indian Healthcare Center and our value for nursing workforce. We value the nursing profession and recognize the significant impact of nursing services in achieving the organization's mission, vision, and value as a healthcare service provider. The core values of nursing as a discipline is holistic and comprehensive, a comprehensive approach to nursing care services that is patient-centered. Ben sekes do ado be et hi do benahat do ado yedi nishko at khallato ze ahil enigi at isinde ant hadet enigi. It's encompassing. An sekes do an ado yan sekesko ado an edo tagodo ginishta. It's inclusive. It's encompasses the body, mind, and spirit. The value and the profession, and there's different disciplines. Ado yesizincha a kokodi koje ezetne kahaji ya sizan shi o khahal jijin leda oi batso des kezo ado nahat alyaya da shi ade. Back then ya ita that's ayu that's a booko ya di elhojo ba nahat nadon sikes ado di at isit ani elhodiyin. Not at the Dashban Sahakis, it became a nursing profession, a nursing discipline. A patient center, at east ado ban Sahakis, not at Ordafiki, is the patient, ado bibelhot, the patient, it's not where service provider center itaka 18 oto konit edo hot edo leshi ai pa ateno khoji ilsa di khoji hot any ajiko that's the focus, and then it builds the capacity of how to address services in that context. And that value is aligned with the Winslow Indian Healthcare mission, vision, and value statement. Because of that, and because of the significance and that impact on how patient care is delivered, we also recognize the recruitment and retention is crucial, and as the current cornerstone of healthcare, of our healthcare facility. Go ahead. Go ahead, Nori.
Okay, so the issue that we want to bring to light is the nursing shortage. The Indian Health Service and the tribal healthcare facilities continue to experience a critical nursing shortage and struggle to recruit and retain qualified nursing staff. Our nursing shortage is growing at an exponential rate for nationwide, not just IHS and tribal healthcare facilities. And as these critical nursing shortages continue, we're going to see closures of beds and reduction of services. And this will continue at an alarming rate. And it'll ultimately affect how we provide quality health care to our Native American communities. The shortage of registered nurses, I've read, is projected to spread countrywide between 2016 and 2030. And the greatest amount of shortage is projected to be in the South and the Western United States. To give you an idea of what our nursing workforce here at WIC is, I'm going to give some numbers. So the Winslow Indian Healthcare nursing workforce is about a quarter of the total organizational workforce. The registered nursing workforce is about 65% of the nursing workforce. So we're here at Winslow Indian Healthcare, our nursing shortage vacancy rate is approximately 34% for FY 2021. And this can cause a significant financial impact because replacing a nurse can cost anywhere from $65,000 to $92,000 per year. And the lack of bedside nurses in 2021 has been increasing So the American Nurses Association, which is a national nursing association organization, asked the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to declare the nursing shortage as a critical and national crisis in 2021. Next slide. So contributing factors that impact the nursing shortage can include several factors. There's the aging nursing workforce, so a lot of our nurses are retiring or nearing retirement age. There's the changing demographics of healthcare, which includes the aging population, increased need for healthcare, and we can't forget about the impact that the COVID-19 pandemic has caused to healthcare. There's also insufficient staffing, and this insufficient staffing causes increased stress levels. It has a negative impact on job satisfaction. There's decreased quality of patient care, and there's also decreased time that nurses spend with patients. Another factor is the shortage of nursing school faculty. And this in itself restricts nursing program enrollments into our nursing schools in our universities and colleges. Another thing is the complicated housing market within rural service areas, which is where WIC is, or Winslow Indian Healthcare is located, as well as other healthcare facilities, IHS and tribal facilities. And it's these rural areas that contributes to the challenges of recruiting and retaining nurses. And what we've seen is that traditional strategies of recruitment and retention has limited success in retaining nurses long term. So we have spent money through increasing our budget for advertising, recruitment, and then also to employ contract nurses in order to help to supplement our permanent nursing staff. Costs also can be underestimated because as the cost of resources to orient new nurses, staff morale and patient satisfaction are immeasurable. Next slide, please. So we at WIC have a vision for change and effort. We offer several different permanent nursing positions in leadership, in clinical and urgent care. We have positions in specialty, public health, care coordination, case management, as well as administrative positions for nursing. We give nurses an opportunity for professional growth, and it starts with our new nurse grads. So we have the new nursing residency program that we just started. We also have opportunities for our other nurses that are academically prepared, such as the associate degree nurse, the bachelor's degree, master's, and doctoral prepared nurse. We have a competitive benefits package that includes a relocation benefit. We also recently increased our recruitment and retention bonuses. And we have submitted budget justification to IHS for FY 2024 for binding obligations that are specific to Indian health professions. In this, we recommended an increase in funding to support resources for Indian healthcare professionals, specifically for nursing recruitment and retention. Next slide, please. So in an effort to address these critical issues, a resolution was drafted and approved by Winslow Indian Healthcare Board of Directors and also the Winslow Indian Healthcare Management Team in October 2021. This resolution respectfully urged the leadership of the Navajo Nation Council, along with the Navajo Nation government, to call attention to the nursing shortage and to address the critical concern of this shortage. Go ahead, Lita.
Thank you, Nori. So the last presentation, the last presentation slide speaks to the WIHCC Board of Directors calls upon the leadership from the Navajo Nation Office of the President, Vice President, along with the Navajo Nation Council to address the critical concern of nursing shortage with solutions include but not limited to. And some of these areas, we recognize our leadership at higher levels under the nation have addressed to some capacity, but to reevaluate, reassess, and really recognize that we are experiencing significant shortage across the Navajo Nation, establishing a directive for all Navajo Nation schools and school boards to strongly promote health field studies for students of all ages, and prioritizing the Navajo Nation scholarship funding for the health fields with nursing as a top tier, establishing nursing scholarship opportunities under the Navajo Nation's permanent trust funds, furthering a College of Nursing at Diné College and Navajo Technical University, and establishing financial support for these programs, promoting enrollment for Navajo students to get into nursing programs and our other health fields, furthering the Navajo Nation MOAs with surrounding colleges and universities to increase Native American enrollment in the nursing studies, increasing access for housing through the Navajo Housing Authority, which is a tribal entity to build rent-to-own homes on the Navajo land tract, not just Winslow, but this is also because most of our service areas across Navajo are rural communities, and it's difficult to fill some of these positions that have been open for a while under nursing. Home ownership is the #1 way of ensuring retention of registered nurses who are from within this service area and respective areas of other healthcare facilities across the Navajo Nation. And again, we felt at WIHCC when we had this discussion, and we had it among our management team, our staff, and our board of directors, that these were some of the key areas that would help. And we felt that a voice from within, a voice that started from the front lines, a voice that includes the management, the leadership level, the executive level, the board of directors, and then the support of the Navajo Nation to carry these concerns and thoughts to become actionable is what our aim was as we present this board of directors presentation. Next slide. And this is the final slide. And this is, if you're able to see the PowerPoint presentation, this was put together during Nurses Week of 2021. And these are different team members who have been assisting us with the COVID pandemic and patient care thus far. And that is our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd and Bryce, for the presentation. Committee members, we got a lot of information on some of the concerns as far as nursing shortage is concerned. So as far as leadership, they identified some areas that we can help as far as scholarship for nursing, and then recommending College of Nursing for the colleges, going into the nursing programs, and especially one of the areas without question is a need is housing, home ownership. I just have a question also for Ms. Scott and Ms. Price. Do you make presentations at the communities also? Because I think to let them know as far as what's going on as far as the hospital, okay? As far as nursing shortage. Need that. But not just little chapters of that presentation that shipping that although at schools so you make presentations. That way from the chapters they can submit resolutions asking for because right now we provide scholarships to the chapters even though it's on a limited basis. Put in the thank you, Ms. Scott, and committee members. Any other questions? Scott, the floor back to you.
All the participants and attendees of this meeting. Before we really got busy with the pandemic and a group of us under the nursing discipline, including our CEO, have been expressing this concern and having discussions about it. And we did submit for a grant, which is $10,000 through the NIHB grant. And we were awarded to start moving on informing the community about the need for nursing and the significant shortage of nursing, and to start building our own, encouraging, like you said, the chapters and the leadership at the chapter level to support us, and then to provide different types of marketing information to our young people, and then even working with the schools to support and promote. And then nursing, my peer here, Nori, is also very interested, and she has already started working with the colleges in our area to ensure that we inform upcoming nurses to consider our facility as the place to be working. So we've started, and we're hoping to implement that grant this timeline in 2022, and hopefully there's other opportunities that will strengthen also that voice and that intent, so that we're able to support and get the support from our leadership also. Thank you.
Committee members, any questions, comments? Committee members, if there's no questions, I don't know if there's other delegates online that would like to comment or ask questions. If not, I need a motion and a second to receive the report.
Motion, Delegate Begay.
Thank you, Delegate Begay.
I'll second.
Delegate Begay makes a motion, second by Honorable Charlene So. Opposed?
All right, sir. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Carl Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
Green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Daniel E. So. Honorable Daniel E. So. Honorable Pernell Halona. Pro Tem Chair, I vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mose. Honorable Slater, are you available now to take the gavel? gravel. Aspiga, are you still in your chapter meeting? Almost later.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We're still doing the meeting, but if you need me to take over, I can take over.
Well, if you're still having the meeting, I can do another one.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be going for another hour at least.
All right. I think Chairman So is almost done with his presentation too.
Okay.
Let's go to item C. Chinle Nursing Home Facility, Navajo Land Nursing Home Incorporated. Closure and Annex A renovation. Presenter is Wayne Claw. Mr. Claw, are you on the line? Mr. Claw called me and he told me that he wasn't sure if he was going to be on the line because he was going to be in a meeting in Phoenix. So he might not be available. What about Maureen Curley? Are you on the line? Mr. Wayne Claw or Maureen Curley? Are you on the line? Nolly, what should we do with this?
We can just either, pass it over to
We'll defer this to the next meeting. Let's go to item D, program update. Presenter is Judy Patero. Ms. Patero, are you on the line?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay, this is on Child Support Services, Division of Human Resource. Ms. Patero, you have the floor.
Hagosina yat eto mekro din benegido ade acha lang response and no senigido junako e yakros resne be khawti penda ko edo acha do le aro kodoshi ya child support services kishe kron kitche ya update shlito de konde ya ta kitche da hon state le she juri potero ya yunchia I skidin shlok ya ani bashchi aro na the Chilots and Geneta Shinabeka Aya, a son and Shledon de Gloria Shadea, Nashado, Krag, St. Michael's Gaya, Nashnishida Child Support Services, Anna Kodo, baseball under the Finiki Yacht and Kadimi, the Lechto, Shahadla Krag Aya could get an now this seat like no, I kitchen of Flaggy Shahad only. I'm gonna share my screen, kind of. How does that go? Oh no. Oh gosh. Let me try it again. Okay, delegation aya quite a young Christian is little this the Kodo Child Support Services Katniki aya quite a potato lick a ya January 19 is Kodon aya another seat of the Kodo activities to accomplishments Katniki aya. I think they Arizona Department of Economic Security if they need niche aya data child support system Katniki aya the automated system replacing the now bana data on here shato a ajet kinon should they need us in we jana has been go a ya con Arizona because lately Navajo Nation shikait Yunis and Havit in that no the Kodoya Bishkita Bilda Koya Aja Basindalish Aro ITA contract Delia Quagin Kikana the war. Aro here Arizona do New Mexico Kodoya agreements between Arizona Jaya intergovernmental agreement you'll get a the system replacement when modification at the area aro federal tax information language and another nato de IRS the operation the anishiki IRS the specifications no requirements the hodbanigi bikarahanil idol de hibaniako the Department of Justice the New Mexico Joint Powers Agreement for modification Nana system modernization replace the New Mexico Child Support Enforcement Division Arona Konagi Kudo child support positions interviewed or selection or hiring it on a 12 vacant positions they four positions fill it out 5 were pending background checks between the Office of Background Investigation. We have 1 pending a PAFA Department of Personnel Management one position open until filled the tribal court advocate open until filled January 24 interview bandi that position will be filled after that of course pending the background check because they have to all have a favorable background check given a year. Challenges COVID-19 no excuse me 99% of our staff are vaccinated. January 26th IPC training Department of Health and the staff the kids child support staff double mask, sanitizing, social distancing, and they could put the husband this gene we remind each other on that one. The public health orders executive orders and the staff shared so we try to we practice the safety protocols on a daily basis. And another challenge is that the lengthy process for procurement of items. When we need to procure items, the PPEs and all that, the next steps, child support guidelines amendment. I need to find a sponsor for this one. Angelita sponsor amend child support guidelines. I need a child support law, the act amended down there. the policy manual revision iban not the either when all the positions are filled I don't hear website for update. We're trying to do electronic documents. Each of the agencies has an email address. But our customers in that's also I don't just staff, but use not the communication goes back and forth between our department and our customers. And we're going to continue doing the interview selection and the hiring as we still have some positions that are vacant. Out of the projects we're working on that we want to start and planning for is scanning, a scanning project. We want to go paperless, and what we want to do is imaged cases. This child support system I'm talking about right here, if our cases are imaged, we won't have to have hard copies. Another one that we're working on is the arrears management plan. We need to start talking about this and begin our dialogue and do the development of that. And I'm open to questions.
Ms. Carol, for the information that you provided on the child support services. So one of the concerns that is always brought up is the vacancies. Sounds like those 12 vacancies, it seems like you'll be taking care of those. So thank you. Committee members, I need a motion and a second to for the report. Read the report.
Motion, Delegate Paul Begay.
Thank you, Delegate Begay, for the motion.
Second.
Need a second.
Second, Halona.
Thank you, Delegate Halona. Committee members, do you have any questions? Our Honorable Chair, are you back online? Honorable Daniel So, are you on the line? Guess not. Committee members, any questions for Mr. Terrell? Not, let's go to the vote.
Jay, I have a question.
Go ahead. Honorable Stewart.
Question is Jay, not in answer Jay. Auto Hesse committee members on Tliniki. Shana Kada and the Shamaya Gagibak Ego Yacht AD Benibi call Aramis Latero so Yacht A could already report in law to the Hesse committee. Though Hashin so Sad Linigi be between that big ahogi. My question is regarding my email from yesterday. On the quiz cannot she on I thought a email Ishla now. DA staff wellness Linigi mentally, emotionally, physically, other than the clients that Hegita. So the process for child support. What can a parent do to work with you all to make sure that they are in compliance with their support, child support? And then also in the statement you provided this morning, to myself back in email as far as the PPEs go for employees. The testing kits, dispose if they left up. What's the proper way to dispose those? How do they dispose of those? The reason why I'm asking these questions again is in my email. Employees that litigate Ajashin auto Beshmas Anabich and Nato out of email that they still do. Okay, Nandish kid. So I go through follow the chain of command. Dr. Fowl, the one that Dr. Jill Jim, the ALSEC, which email that Dara. Okay, Abe and Nachigi, I want to ask those questions of you this morning or this afternoon. Yeah, 12 o'clock was linked. Without the Nandish kid will let Mr. Taro for the Child Support Services Program. For now.
Thank you, Honorable Stewart, for those questions. Ms. Patero, you have a response?
Yeah, no, that's it. So thank you for the question. Asage ya asha kada shiro le kuro peshma anda mastini ki ko ya hashin sago e kaiden ka staff ke ya kudo sato e ya ba ya ro de sato e ya ko e ya protect the de so keeping them safe ki e sha de shiro le kudo hat e ya na kada no si no hat anda ito skidi ki ko ni kudo ani hodat ahichen tengo e ya kudo we face those challenges on a daily basis too. Staff, you are important. Practice all your precautionary measures for COVID. Supervisors all the staff if you're not feeling well, we did have some COVID positives, but the HCOC, the health facility, they complied with all of that. We continue to encourage our staff to take care of each other, and because we all go home to our family, even in and here like I said, we share with them, and that they I actually sent it to each one of our employees, though it was supervisor of course we like I had mentioned, we have a training coming up on January 26th. In the meantime, we continue to do that. PPE kodo niheda holla the mask that agido ado sanitizing hand sanitizers that agi ado gloves, so we provide those for all our staff, and we ask them to, if they are if they're getting low on supply, we can work with HCOC to get those items out on the hit. We make these orders over to the local vendors. If they have them in stock, we're constantly ordering those. PPEs to give. I think we have enough of those. And that covers the staff wellness in case of just ego this compassionate leader even not customers if they come to our office, but most of our the contacts with our customers, whether it be the mother or the father, guardian, through email and telephone. Again, I say thank you for the leadership in expressing the concern for employees' well-being.
Thank you, Ms. Patera, for your response. Honorable Stewart, do you have a follow-up?
I don't.
Okay. Oh, my next question, Mr. Taro Hesse, Kodogi staff, the Linigi, the well-being of the staff, for this month to get in the emails that I have received, there was in cases that have been deferred for another month. And that's where my response came in from yesterday or the other day, for the email that staff were being told to work, just they're positive in that. And this happened in a court case, meaning that the judge and the staff there that were there had to cancel all cases for the rest of the month till next month. So that's where I'm coming at from, yes, you as a supervisor from here, you follow the protocols, but what about the other staff, and their supervisors, are they as cognizant as well? How well is that being iterated to them to make sure that they even though they may be short-staffed, that they're not forcing their employees to come to work? Because it's happening out there. Otherwise, I wouldn't get reports, and that's why I'm asking straight out. Then that's the last of my questions.
Thank you, Honorable Stewart. Committee members, any other questions?
13, 20, 25. Presiding Chair Satilla, this is Delegate Daniel.
Okay, thank you, Honorable So. Good to have you back.
Oh, I'd like to ask a question. Continue presiding. I'd like to ask a question of Ms. Platero, and forgive me for being on another call. And I didn't hear the COVID leave policies presentation, but I saw the email. And Ms. Platero, in this pandemic era, we have relatives moving in with other relatives that are capable of providing shelter, food, and additional support that are not normally part of the household. And in follow-up with this discussion, we hear employees coming to work may have been exposed and didn't know it, But then at the office, they expose themselves. And then it's days later that we hear reports that this office or that office had to shut down. And what I'm reading, just from the newspaper accounts and others, is that certain supervisors, and I'm wondering if you're one of them, that requires staff to come in, even though they say we're exposed. Give me a leave slip, give me a doctor's statement. And if somebody in the household isn't a blood relationship, then we hear other supervisors saying the policy says it has to be somebody of blood relationship. Yet in this time and era, like I said, and I know personally where constituents in the area that I represent, we have young folks that are going into the homes of an aunt, an uncle, a second cousin, or in our cases, cousin brother, cousin sister's home, so that they can continue their school, or so that they can continue being able to maintain themselves. And since you work with child support service, we hope you're not being stringent as what Cecilia Honorable Wilson Stewart has referred to. And for me, it's unconscionable for a supervisor to be imposing a hardline policy when we know that we're all having to respond in the best way to make sure that there is care for our relatives. In the aspect of what personnel policy, blood relative, that's in direct opposition to the concept of what is stated in the fundamental law. And so that aspect is of primary concern from where I sit. The other aspect is those new positions that are filled. Are they being provided training, whether it be from the Department of Justice or from the court system, on the proper procedures? And what gives them the qualities to then represent the children in securing family support? What kind of training, what kind of qualification, what certification do they have to have before they can sign a document that says, yes,
We go to
this
lunch.
person can receive parental support? That would be my question and comments to Honorable Edison Wanika.
Thank you, Chairman So, for that comment and the question. Time back to Carol for your response.
And then again, thank you for those questions and the concerns that are being expressed. As far as the where staff are required to come to work, we're not making sick or ill employees come to work. We do tell them and encourage them that they need to stay home and to take care of themselves. And we always express that the need to comply with HCOC or their health professionals. We continue to express that at all times, but certainly can reevaluate that within the department if to make sure that those are not happening, and it will not. That's not what we are informed to do. So the other one is that how a lot of these questions, like the COVID leave it out, the questions on where the blood relationship without Aggie, those are all on the COVID policy and procedures. So we have DPM that we also rely on in working with them on that one. And then as far as the questions on the positions, whether these positions that are filled, if they are provided training, if Department of Justice or others do provide the training. We're just now hiring the new staff. So when we get some staff on board, we normally do provide training to them. Yes, and we're getting our training packets together for the new employees. But a lot of these positions that have been filled, like promotions about SO. When they're promoted to a different position, the training comes with it too. So we are seeking those trainings, and we get the support of our division director of human resources that's always there to help us and guide us in doing that too. So as far as the qualifications and all of that, those are determined by DPM. When they're doing their qualification assessment. Once we receive the referrals, we proceed from there. As far as certifications that are required for signing documents, we work with Department of Justice.
I am not coming home for lunch.
Department of Justice is the one that provides all the legal guidance. We have on a monthly basis, we have case staffing with Department of Justice. They're the ones that advise that this is what can be done in this case. So we do the legwork for the attorney. The attorney is the one that presents the cases at the hearings too. We're there as a witness if needed to be. So child support. So we really rely on Department of Justice to help us in getting these cases adjudicated. We also work with these cases are heard by the hearing officer under Office of Hearings and Appeals. So again, I say staff Thank you very much.
Thank you for that response. Chairman Daniel So, do you have a follow-up?
Yes, thank you. And this is not related to what Ms. Platero responded with. In the district I represent, we have Navajo Nation employees, And what I'm hearing is a supervisor or a program manager can basically stop an appeal going to Office of Hearings and Appeals, or prolong it. So, and this is just one upfront notice. I will be seeking the reinstatement of the Navajo Nation Labor Commission. And that's outside of the current way that hearings and appeals are going forward. And I really feel like that's the best way to assure that everybody's complaint can be forwarded. Thank you, Presiding Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Appreciate the comment, Chair. Committee members, is there any other questions? I have a motion by Delegate McGay, second by Honorable Halona. There is no other questions. I'm going to ask for the vote. Mr. Mose?
Sure. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.
Delegate Paul Begay votes green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona.
Hello, votes green.
Honorable Pernell Halona votes green. Honorable Paul Russell Slater. Honorable Paul Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Charlene So.
I vote green.
Honorable Charlene So votes green. Honorable Daniel E. So.
I vote green.
Honorable Daniel E. So votes green. Pro Tem Chair, a vote of 5 in favor, 0 opposed.
Thank you, Mr. Mose. Next item is update Department of Personnel Management. I'm going to give the chair back to Honorable Chairman Daniel So.
Sheila, that was big chair to fulfill then, Cecilia.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you to the committee members. I appreciate the time to be able to address legislation with Budget and Finance Committee. So we're back to reports. Ms. Angelita Benali, can you review the agenda item with the committee?
Mr. Chair, you have 5E, an update from the Department of Personnel Management regarding the COVID-19 leave policy, current increase in cases applicable to the current health order, command orders. Presenters are Tomasita Woody, Human Resource Director, and Dr. Cecilia Fowler, Division Director for Division of Human Resource. There was a memo, Mr. Chair and members of the committee, there was a memo from Tomasita Woody that I forward to all of the HES members. Mr. Chair.
Sheila, thank you, Ms. Benali. Mr. Fowler and Ms. Tomasita Woody, you have the teleconference floor.
Shady ma ides kisnin slot hodge any bashin kapahata chedot nationale totus aholiero ade is shike dola da wet edala the kusnas eight at the pedini the kusto jobai et ego ho nihit kahnasni nihit kahn chikish ako ani equado nihit khas agi the nebet bekhahot zo bekhas ein hit at the ananatza Oko ne edon nil enitzen oko de haji tlahaen od nili omicron nini naka alchinen lini yego yent oko khalet di ultra nahaz ago haja nihizadi bel endod nilti no benahwita ado ashdo kodo kwije kodo sadlini behanasze khalet edi contagious walyani bahadeshni Johot Adam Seal Cast. Adil Itlon Ado Adil Nitlon Di Yegona Snihi Chikishi Jo She Hot Olia La da Branch de Raho Kofilja Jo She Olia Chikish Adil Nigo Chikishi Olia our procedures behas ani dobik equinil inigi equado and lini aja Department of Personnel Management. Yisnad nishija aja hashin took el ket de yen ni the COVID leave policy or COVID leave procedure bedi niniki nakhandad nishi baha nitzen do ba ahwilia khaled equa Tots it ego that the naashi ani who want the so tapeti nin the akwan de behes ani lini COVID leave ba ilia khala hashina la nakhana nishi eshi kodo ya hato ne petato na ado Israel in no e pitni ta ho want the sutta nes not chita kitne e nes not chine e kodo health command center don't Sato CDC guidelines bikahanila ishtla adja yitla do sato ben nithin akodi is benap ben idyaiki pa atadol ni the booster will yeni the mente te sato delia ako ajak abawint ini edi COVID levi nakhandal nishiki tapeded na these are the steps nana pamma taitahas kapjeta Ado ba achne jocha dik edi nini kodosh cheya hol na aj khanad nit nit nini sa akwilia o kwande shapa hanasen che ado shi yashna ebeda kehi dila na khanda nishi oyo sa benda atlo o ko na kidatse saton sel khao Dobedol na oj tatagaho the banal ka ado ye bedol na oka COVID leave yibich ni liala johot ehash jebe has ani kitchen titole johot ehida satone ka ado di training that the nini each division has a safety officer ehot anan kin okon de kwa yese beniye a COVID leave procedure. And I'd like to empower our program, our Department of Personnel Management, to elaborate on the COVID leave, and she can share you some numbers regarding how many of our employees are affected. We may not have updated numbers. We also have employees that are currently teleworking. Ana nishto na nishto ba ini zenido hashine na khanda nishi. So we have to provide some really a better response for and train our supervisors, managers, and even our directors. Miss Woody, you can I'll hand it off to Miss Woody to speak upon the COVID leave policy.
Good afternoon, Honorable Juanica or Honorable So, and members of Tribal Council. My name is Thomasita Woody. She'e twotsohni and shne dot kapahan bashishin. Yaane dashiche dot najene dashinala. I'm originally from Steamboat Canyon. I've been with the Department of Personnel Management for approximately a little bit over 3 months. In those 3 months, been tasked with a variety of projects. One of them is questions or updates, as it's noted here, COVID leave policy. What I'm going to do is going to go ahead and share my screen. You all see my screen? This is the, just to kind of give you an update. On June 30th, 2020, the policies and procedures was amended to include COVID-19 leave procedures. In that, it was a revision done on October 22nd, 2021. And I'm just giving you a little bit of formal review of the revisions. The October 22nd, 2021, there was a revision done to the addendum to include vaccination requirements, both vaccination and unvaccinated. On January 6, 2022, there was another revision. January 12, 2022, the final revision of this policy was implemented. Just to kind of give you an idea of who were all charged with the implementation, Department of Justice, DOH, they also include the Navajo Health Command Operations Center, DHR, DPM, and IHS, and that was only for advisory only. In this particular policy, if you read this, we have one individual within DPM who is currently providing necessary feedback to those that are on COVID leave, and the individual is Tracy Shorty. So she's the individual who, within my department, who is charged with reviewing all of the COVID leave. In this particular policy, the main areas that we need to focus on is, what the applicability is, what the purpose is, and then definitions for those areas. And there's a comment that I heard in relation to blood relations. This particular virus doesn't have any relations, so we have to be cognizant of the fact that it's going to spread to whomever it has the opportunity to get this virus. There's 3 areas in the procedures or categories in the procedures that we are charged with here at DPM. The first category, if you look under the procedures 1A, category A, when a family member has tested positive for COVID-19 virus and requires assistance from the employee. So if an employee's family member basically has tested positive and they're the only individual who has to care for that family member, they have that ability, the authority, according to category A. Category B, when the employee has tested positive for COVID-19 virus. So the employee getting the virus themselves. And category C, when the employee is required by his or her supervisor to be away from the workplace due to exposure to an individual who has tested positive or suspected to be positive for COVID-19, or number 2, if the employee shows symptoms consistent with COVID-19 virus. One of the requirements here for everybody, both in executive and legislative, is that if you're feeling sick, if you're have the symptoms of COVID-19, you are to stay home. And what we have to do is, if one of our personnel within our programs or departments catch COVID, we have to report it to HCOC, I believe, the command center, which is the Navajo Health Command Operations Center, so that they are made aware that an individual employee from a particular program was either exposed or they were tested positive, or they're receiving, or they've gotten symptoms related to COVID-19. So we would hope that every employee who is coming to work understands there's protocols. When you come into the building, you have to wear a mask. When you have to sign in, you have to take your temperature. And the same thing is going to happen, as an example here at Administration Building 1, down at the entrance level, is that anybody who is entering the building has to have their temperature checked, and they have to sign in. When I get up to the office here, we have to do the same thing. We have to do our temperatures, we have to sign in, document our temperature, wipe down everything, and that's the protocol for coming in and leaving. Anytime that we leave our offices, that's what we do. At the end of the day, what we also do, and have my staff right now on a twice daily, is to wipe down their areas, wipe down their space, their workspace. We have if you come into DPM, we have an open space, so we have cubicles. So those employees have to make sure that they to wear a mask throughout the day. They have to wipe their area down, and they have to also sanitize their hands as often as possible, because we do get documents from other departments. So we have to ensure that those documents, don't carry infections or the virus itself. So we have to be very careful and cognizant. If an employee is feeling that they, are sick, the first protocol is for them to contact their supervisor and to let them be aware that, look, I'm not feeling sick, or I was exposed. And then at that point, we understand that everybody has to know those particular protocols. As far as our website, we do have a website that gives general information, and we have to provide that general guidance. A lot of what this policy entails is anything updated from CDC, so it filters down to DOH, and then we involve our DOJ, and then we have to implement those particular changes that maybe was brought down by CDC guidelines, so on and so forth. So we're trying to stay on top of this and ensure that everybody's safety is of utmost priority. So when you're looking at the leave requests, and we have to do this on a pay period by pay period basis. So at this point, I can also let you be aware that we do have an increase of employee who have submitted COVID leave. I can't give you the exact numbers, but as of this pay period, I can tell you that there's about 300 employees who have submitted COVID leave. It's increased since January 1. So, by pay period, we have to ensure that those particular leave documentation is in place. So we try to to stay on top of that and then try to provide that necessary information to our division director. We also have an influx and an increase of telecommuting policies. A lot of these telework agreements are going into June. And what I've done is said, okay, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know when this is going to peak. So until we get accurate information, what I'm asking every program is give it 3 months in telework agreement. And then if you still need further telework agreement beyond the 3 months, then at that point you can submit another one. There's no problem in submitting those. It's just a lot of departments at this point and programs are putting a lot of their employees under telework. Particularly with the news that's come out last week from OPVP's office in terms of the increase in COVID. The other part that I wanted to also just give you information on, as of January 13th, we've had 3,670 employees who are fully vaccinated, and about 86 of those are unvaccinated. So this particular policy is specifically speaking to those that are unvaccinated. So the protocol for the unvaccinated employees is that they have to submit a COVID test every 14 days. So with that COVID test, Navajo Nation Department of Health sent every program a BioNax Now kit, which is a COVID test. So we have those on hand for those particular times that we would need those employees to comply with the current policy. So, you know, with that, as far as applicability to the current Health Command orders, I've provided you an overview that we do have to, as a program, submit the numbers of positive cases to that Health Command Center, so that at that point, if they see a particular department has an increase of COVID cases or COVID positive employees, they have to make a determination on what next. So at that point, you know, just be cognizant of that. Otherwise, you know, if there's any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yes, and Mr. Chair, Shiaj, that will complete our COVID update. And we also included some samples of the memorandums for each of the supervisors in the packet as well. So, we're open to questions at this time, and I also can share some of our closing thoughts and remarks. Is that this program, Department of Personnel Management, is working on a short-term plan regarding an RFP, really improving our processes and procedures, not only within the program, but within the Navajo Nation as a whole. We are working closely with the Personnel Task Force, also Financial Information Technology Task Force. So we're combining a lot of those, and Ms. Whitty has brought a lot of her experience, expertise to the program. So we are working with a lot of those areas as well. But for today, this is how much we have regarding our COVID leave procedures. Na here she na Chair,
before any questions, I'd like to make a motion to accept the report.
Oh, second, Delegate McGee. I'll recognize the motion in the second. Committee members, any questions, comments, statements? Going once. Twice. 3 times. Mr. Mose. Roll call vote,
Yes,
please.
sir. Honorable Paul Begay Jr.,
Green.
Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Carl Russell Slater. Honorable Carl Russell Slater. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Edison J. Wanika. Green. Honorable Edison J. Wanika votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Pernell Halona.
I have to mute him.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater. Both on the line. Honorable Carl Russell Slater. Honorable Charlene So. Chair, right now you only have 2 in favor. I have Vice Chair and Honorable Halona online, but for some reason they're not answering.
Let's go one more time.
All right, sir. Honorable Carl Russell Slater.
Green.
Honorable Carl Russell Slater votes green. Honorable Pernell Halona. Honorable Pernell Halona. Chair, a vote of 3 in favor, 0 opposed.
Halona.
Thank you.
Okay, Chair, correction, Honorable Pernell Halona votes green via text. It'll be 4 in
Thank
favor,
you.
0 opposed.
Thank you, committee members. Vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed. The chair not voting. We accept the report. Ms. Angelita Benali, reviewed with the committee the next item.
Mr. Chair and members of the Health, Education, and Human Services Committee, that is the last report on your agenda. The next item is close of meeting, announcements, adjournment. Number 8.
Thank you. Committee members, we have a special meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. It will be in person. We'll drive in to convene that special meeting. And we do have Ms. Benali, how many items on our agenda?
Mr. Chair, there were 3 legislations. However, the committee dispensed of legislation 0002-22 today. And so that leaves legislation 0010-22 and 0011-22.
Okay, committee members, and then after that at 10 a.m. then we have the regular Nabikia Chit committee meeting scheduled for 2 days, if necessary. Any other announcement? Yes, the other is we all have an invite to join the Law and Order Committee Zoom meeting at 1 p.m. And I'm sure you all got the email our chapters can go back to the 3 quorum. Rule. And so that would help the business of the committees or chapters going forward. Committee members, any other announcements? If not, the chair is open for a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Delegate Paul McGee.
Yeah, it's a chair. Do I hear a second?
Second, Winika.
Okay. No debate, no discussion. Roll call vote, Mr. Mose.
Chair,
Joe.
our advisor has something to tell us.
Mr. Chair, can you contact Mr. Leonard Mose and arrange, we need your signature on some reports so they can move on to the next meeting, to the next committee. Thank you.
Yes, earlier I said I would be in Window Rock at 8 a.m. tomorrow
It
morning.
needs to be, one needs to be signed today. The Budget and Finance Committee is waiting for that report.
Oh, man. Okay. Okay, let me see what I can do.
Thank you.
So,
Alona vote screen also.
The vote count for adjournment, Honorable Paul Begay Jr. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. Honorable Pernell Lona votes green. Honorable Paul Begay Jr. votes green. Honorable Alona and Slater vote green via text. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Charlene So. Honorable Edison J. Wanika. Green. Honorable Edison J. Wanika votes green. Honorable Charlene So. Chair, a vote of 4 in favor, 0 opposed, adjourned at 12:48 p.m.
thank you. Committee members, we are adjourned. 4 in favor, 0 opposed, chair not voting. Go on that.